So we won some races. The question now is what's next? Paul Weber is here with me, the president and CEO of Family Policy Alliance. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Stuart.
Welcome to South Dakota.
It's a great place to be, isn't it?
We've got a few people looking over our shoulder here. You may recognize them. It's good to be here sharing with our good friend Dale Barcher here.
Dale Barcher's doing a fantastic job here in South Dakota, and a shout out to all the folks here in South Dakota. Please continue in your support of Dale and his team here doing remarkable work.
At the Family Heritage Alliance.
Family Heritage Alliance.
Now let's talk about what's next.
Yes.
We saw this little presidential election play out, and now we also saw some wins in the House and Senate. That opens up an opportunity for us. Tell us, what is it we need to be focused on?
Well, first and foremost, we need to be focused on prayer as a nation and as a people. We need to continue to be on our knees in prayer, and then from there to take action and take advantage of these opportunities. It's the first time, Stuart, I believe, that we've had a conservative House, Senate, and the President since 1928, I believe.
Very long time. What's some specific legislation that you'd like to see move through the Congress and put on Mr. Trump's desk?
Well, first and foremost, I think there's plenty of opportunities. The defunding of Planned Parenthood so that we can reduce, obviously, the largest abortion provider in America. Critical, and what everybody took to heart in this election was voting for our Supreme Court justices. President-elect Trump is going to have the opportunity to replace Antonin Scalia's seat, a critical conservative seat. And then obviously there's talk of perhaps 2 or 3 more justices through the cycle. This is an opportunity, Stuart, to really promote a social conservative agenda for the next several decades. So it is a wonderful opportunity that God has given us here.
There's also been a lot of talk about Obamacare. What do you think could happen there?
Yeah, I think there's several provisions of Obamacare that will be replaced, which will benefit families. The president-elect has already talked about doing that. He talked about that as part of a campaign speech and his campaign opportunity. So Obamacare will likely be not retracted totally, but a lot of it will be repealed and replaced.
All right. And the one other item which Mr. Trump kept bringing up during the campaign cycle was the idea of the Johnson Amendment being repealed. Many people don't even know what that is, but it is significant if you don't like the IRS being in your pulpit.
Yeah, that's an obscure amendment that was passed in the 50s that gave the IRS the power to regulate churches, which was never there prior. The repeal of the Johnson Amendment will free up the pastors in the pulpit to preach on the issues that are critical, and especially to preach on where the candidates stand on those issues. You know, oftentimes we look to our pastors as to be knowledgeable sources on what's going on in the culture. Repealing that Johnson Amendment, Stuart, will free up free speech. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Free speech in our own pulpits across
Thomas
America.
Jefferson is paying attention over your shoulder there.
I think I sense a smile, too.
I think he's invested in that particular amendment of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
All of this shows, I mean, often we've seen in the past when we see conservative victories, people tend to say, okay, we fixed the problem, now we can move on. This is not the time to stop. This is the time to move forward.
Yeah, Stuart, you know, you and I have been in this for quite some time. I've been in this for 17 years, and election cycle after election cycle, when something tends to go our way, the body of Christ tends to go silent retreat. Now is not the time for that. I'm asking you now more than ever, please support Family Policy Alliance and the work of our family policy councils all across the country. Now is the time to engage in the legislative process. Now is the time to advance policy on behalf of the family. Now is the time to really secure some of the values that we hold dear, given what God has done for us.
Thank you, Paul.
God bless you.